Our first guest tonight is a Tony and Emmy award-winning actress who you know from shows like The West Wing and Glee and the Broadway production Wicked. She stars in the new series Schmigadoon, with new episodes streaming Fridays on Apple TV+. Let's take a look.
You know what? We are both outraged by these outlandish allegations.
The only outrageous thing here is your behavior, which has now officially been deemed as unseemly by the Mothers Against the Future. Therefore, no one, and I mean no one, in Schmigadoon will give you lodging. And Harvey, don't even think about letting them back in after I've left. I can read you like a book. Oh, wait. Books have spines.
Please welcome back to the show, Kristen Chenoweth. Hello, Kristen!
Hi, honey.
It's
I'm
so
happy
lovely
to
to see you.
You too, man. I've missed you.
Your wardrobe is the physical manifestation of your spirit.
You know what, Seth? I thought, I'm bringing it, Seth. I don't care. No more jackets and no makeup. I'm bringing it just to the Seth Meyers show. In fact,
Look at that, top to tail. Yes, no sweatpants on Kristen, thank you.
no, I'm bringing it to you, Seth, okay?
We don't think it will be unappreciated by everyone here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And by the way, I loved in You Burnt when you said the Delta variant. Yesterday, I flew Delta to get to LA, and I love Delta, okay? Like, I love Delta Airlines. I'm not ashamed to say it. Why must they call it the Delta variant? Why?
Yeah, you know who has no sympathy? The good people at Corona who made the beer. They're like, okay. They're like, oh, is it hard for you, Delta? Wah. So, first of all, before I ask about Schmigadoon, a lot of people learned new skills. A lot of people had to find new platforms for their talent. You found your way onto TikTok during the pandemic. How did that come about in the first place?
Well, you were talking about TikToking this morning.
Yes.
I was unaware about, I'm not that lame, but my boyfriend was like, you've got to do TikTok. And I was the crazy, not crazy, but, you know, insane person running around with Lysol and singing high notes. And unfortunately, I was doing it in a Winnie the Pooh onesie because why wear anything with a waistband?
Right.
So he said these would be great TikToks. And, you know, he was right. I'm ashamed, and yet I'm thrilled because I walk around, spray, wear my Winnie the Pooh onesie, and, you know, it's a hit. What can I say?
Look, if TikTok wasn't built for that, what was it built for?
I don't know.
So that's you being very modern, very of the moment. Schmigadoon is a lovely throwback to sort of these style of musical from the 40s and 50s. It seems like this was a perfect match, you and this project. How did it come about? How were you approached for it?
You know, I know that you understand that, especially New York was so hit, right, with the pandemic. I think the hardest, in my opinion. And Barry Sonnenfeld called me, and I'd had a lot of loss at the time, and he called me and said, I want, you know, this new show, and I'm a huge fan of Cecily's, and obviously Alan's one of my best friends, and Dove. I wanted to do it, but I just didn't feel I had it in my spirit. I just thought, I don't know if I can. He goes, you have an 18-page song, and we're going to do it in one take. Now, he knows me. This is my 5th project with him, and I went, I'll be there. So that's how it happened. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done, and it was so fun. It was so fun.
This is, you basically do, inspired by You Got Trouble from The Music Man. And so this isn't just an 18-page song. This is like an 18-page single-spaced patter song. And I would imagine it's harder when you film it, even though you can do multiple takes. This was done in one take.
Yes.
And that is, I mean, everything you do on stage is obviously one take when people see you on Broadway, but how was it different doing it with cameras and crews around?
I got really good friends with camera A operator Jim. We practiced, you know, I don't know if you heard, but we wore cones. Like, we wore cones and masks. I felt like I'd been spayed. But it was fine. I didn't care, Seth. I showed up for rehearsal. I said, Jim, follow me. Just I gather the town. So it wasn't just that I was doing an 18-page patter song. Thank you for knowing what that means. But I was also gathering the town, so I used the entire set. And one mistake means back to one. And I thought, it's not going to be on my dime or problem if we mess up. So I practiced in my hotel room by myself, yabba dabba doing around like a freak, doing Tribulation. It's called Tribulation.
You mentioned when you're yabba dabba doing in your hotel room that you shared a wall with your friend Alan Cumming. Is that correct?
I hope we're still friends. Yes. He's a night owl, as am I, but I go to bed at like 5 a.m. He goes to bed at like 2:33. And I would wake up and literally try to go to sleep, and I'd be like, we've got tribulation, my good sir. We've got tribulation and schmigadoon. And I'd do it in the bathroom because there's high notes too. And I wanted to hear myself really good. Every soprano knows you practice in the bathroom. And I'd hear bang, bang, bang. Shut up. Shut up. And then at like 8:30 in the morning, he'd be like doing his song, and I'm like, I can hear you. I just went to bed. This was during quarantine. I mean, but that being said, he beat me. He got out of quarantine 3 days before me. And when I was done, he was there and took me. He's vegan, which is fine, but I'm not. And we went to a vegan diner. We had dinner. He took care of me. I love him.
It strikes me that you guys have a very nice friendship. He did tell a story about you that I now need to verify because it's a pretty memorable story about you sending muffins to someone.
Okay. I have to just say, yes, I saw him tell the story and I died 1,000 deaths. But one of my friends, she used to run the theater wing. I was unaware that she had passed. Her family reached out and said, we're honoring her. Mm-hmm. I was young. I was not paying attention. I had a deal with Mrs. Beasley's. Thank you, Mrs. Beasley's. I sent Mrs. Beasley's cookies to
the honoring.
It was her funeral, Seth. It was her funeral, Seth. And Alan Cumming loves to tell it. He also loves to tell when I very first got invited to my first fashion show. I'm dating myself. A very, very famous designer woman sent me a bunch of clothes. Well, I'm 4'11". You know my size. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to. So she sent nothing that fit except this one really cute skirt. So I thought I'll add my own jacket. I got to sit next to her, and when I saw her, she goes, inventive. I thought, she doesn't like my shirt. She doesn't like it, but nothing fit. It was later that I found out it was a tube top. And it was in the New York Post.
Oh no. Did they know it was a tube top, or did they think you were being inventive as well?
I hope they thought I was being inventive,
Yeah.
But her face is kind of like, this was like 1999. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Everybody was tube topping in 99. And you couldn't walk
Right?
in New York City without bumping into somebody wearing a tube top as a dress. Hey,
But as a skirt.
as a skirt. So you, I think I've asked a lot of Broadway veterans about this question, about the fact that Broadway's opening up again and what they're most excited to do. And a lot of people have told me, it's less about getting back on stage, what they desperately want to do, but that they want to be in the audience again for a Broadway show. Is that something that's true for you as well?
Just like you're doing your show, and we listen to the audience, right? It's the relationship between yourself and your audience. Same with me when I'm in a concert or if I'm doing a role. I listen. That's the biggest part of my job. When I'm in the audience, I participate. So yes, I can't wait. I'm going to go as soon as I can. I'm going to go see Lion King. My boyfriend has never seen he's only seen 2 Broadway shows. I'm going to go take him that. I'm going to take him to see Hamilton. I mean, I want to celebrate my friends. I want to celebrate the art of music theater and plays, anything live, just like how I know you feel when you're like, you're burnt. I'm sitting over here cracking up and you can't hear me. You know what I mean?
We should have mic'd you. That was a big mistake.
You should have, because
real
I was
quiet
laughing
in
my butt off. The subway thing, forget it.
Well, it is always so lovely to see you. Thank you, as always,
you.
for making time for us, and I hope next time to see you here in the city.
Amen, and my love to your family, and just in case, stay safe.
Oh, good product placement. Schmigadoon is currently streaming on Apple TV+.